In this video, I'm going to show you how to take your photograph images and crop them out and start compositing them with each other. All right, so I'm going to zoom in on this image. And I'm actually going to crop because we are going to Photoshop the background completely out of this so that we can begin to composite things together. You can actually do, Photoshop has now the object selection tool. We could actually kind of see how, oops, excuse me, probably gonna have to go back and redo this and get out of my selection there. But you can do it a couple of different ways. You can do object select or you can do quick select. That would be the best way. So actually, I only need to get, so with this one, this is in Photoshop 2020, which most of you guys should have. You do object select, it should be fairly smart and know where your edges are. So I'm actually going to go here. I'm going to change to quick select, and I'm going to subtract from my selection and just take out that little corner there. And then it didn't grab this little corner of the bag. So again, I'm going to add to my selection. I'm going to grab that. And you also want to mask these. You don't want to completely crop them out. That way if you need to retouch. So I'm just going to go to Layer, Mask, Reveal Selection. Okay, and then I can zoom in and kind of take a look at my edges. So if I want to clean this up, because I'm in the mask, we can go to, take my black brush here, and I'm going to zoom in. So if you have a black brush, that's going to remove things from your selection. So I'm just going to brush out there. And then if you take too much away, if you have your white brush, that will, if you change to white, that will bring things back. So you always want to work, when you're doing this type of work, you always want to work in a layer mask, because that is going to make sure that you still actually have all of your image. So I did the object selection, or you could do quick select to select your object, and then I applied a layer mask. And so this one looks pretty good. I'm going to hold tight with this one for a second there. Now I'm going to go here and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use, so this is another image. So I'm taking my two individual images with the intention that I'm going to put them together. So let's see what object select does here. So the object select, you just drag around, and actually that worked fairly perfectly, except on my corner here. So I'm going to go over to quick select, add to my selection, and I'm going to grab that little corner that, and we can always go back and add a shadow. Actually, I didn't grab the top of the cup here. So my quick select, I'm going to add to my selection. All right, and I'm going to go up to layer, layer mask, reveal selection. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Layer, layer mask, reveal. There we go. All right. So again, I have my black brush and my mask. So I'm going to zoom in here, and it got a little, still has a little bit of that in there. Oops, that's select. Sorry. I'm going to go back to my brush, and I'm going to make my brush just a little larger. So again, anything that you paint black, it's going to hide from your selection. So I'm just going to, if you have a mouse, I'm using my trackpad, but if you have a mouse, this actually comes in super handy to use a mouse for this type of work. And then I can come under here and smooth out the area. Oops, too much. Smooth out the area where my shadow is. And as long as you have these layer masks, you know, you could still composite the images and have your layer mask. I'm just gonna go ahead and get the bottom, take out the bottom of the cup. If I want to add a shadow, I can. All right, so now I've got the middle of my cup, and I'm gonna go to back to my selection tools, and I'm actually going to see if quick select will do this. I'll grab the center. Whoops. Actually, instead of quick select for this one, I'm going to see how magic erase works. So I'm going to go magic eraser and make sure I'm clicked in my image. Oops, nope, because it's so white, Photoshop's having a hard time with that. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to very subtly, okay, so here I can actually work with this because I can go to remove from selection and just click and drag. Shoot. All right. So we are actually going to, hold on here. I'm going to use most of my marquee, and I'm going to hit delete to remove that space. So you might have to do a little bit more fine tuning on this particular one here to get that center out. And then I'm actually going to go back in my mask, and what's left of that hole, I'm going to paint that out. You don't really want to, you could erase this area because you're not going to need it. But again, you can use quick select. I just got impatient because what quick select does is, because this cup is mostly white and the background was white, that's where it like couldn't read the difference between the cup and the background. So quick select is going to work best when you have strong differences of area of color. And I'm masking this out, that way if when I put it on something else, if I need to touch it up a little bit, I can. So I'm just going to go in, and again, if you have a mouse that you can plug in, this is when I would recommend using your mouse. All right. And we can, again, we can always go back, and we will touch this up when we start compositing these. But that is good enough for now. All right, so that is, let's see, looks like we got a little bit too happy there with our cup handle. So I'm gonna go change out to white, and I'm gonna color around this. Anywhere I color white, it's gonna bring back the edge of my mug there. And again, because you're using a layer mask, you still have that image. So rather than erasing, which completely deletes content, a layer mask keeps your content in case you need it. All right, so we've prepped things to be composited, we've removed backgrounds, and we're going to go in and touch this up some more, but we'll do that in the next step.